multiplication. Adding the same number over and over. Multiplication. Adding the same number over and over.
These three rhombuses are going to help us learn to multiply by 1. And one way you can think about multiplication is as numbers of items in groups. And in this case, we have 3 rhombuses, or 3 items, in one group. And one group of 3, 1 times 3, equals 3. Your total number of items is 3. You can also think of these 3 rhombuses as being in 3 groups of 1. That is also 3 times 1, or 1 times 3, it doesn't matter. So 1 times 3 is 3. You can also think about this as repeated addition, which would be 1 plus 1 plus 1, which equals 3. Here's a picture of 6 yellow squares. So there are 6 items, and one group of those 6 items, so 6 times 1 equals 6. We can also think of this as 6 groups of 1 item. So in that case, 1 times 6 equals 6. Or you can think about this situation as 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. And when you add all those ones, you'll see that you get the same answer, which is 6. This is one group of 5 items. My 5 items are pennies. So 5 items times one group equals 5. My product is 5. The product is the answer of a multiplication problem. You also get the same product if you think of this as 5 groups of 1 item. So 1 item times 5 groups is 5 as well. Or you could think of that as 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. You would still get 5 as your product. Here are 24 stars. 24 stars can be seen as one group with 24 items, and 24 times 1 equals 24. You can also think of this as being 24 groups of 1 star each. Your product will be the same. You still have 24 items total. If you think about it like this, you would add 1 plus 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 1. You can add 1 24 times. Your product, well, your sum and product are the same, which is 24. When you look at this multiplication table, you can see that when you multiply a number by 1, it stays the same number. That's the multiplication identity property. So when you multiply by 1, you're really not doing anything to that number at all. Another thing that we should discuss is multiplying by 0. When you multiply by 0, it means that you have no groups. And with no groups, you can't have any items. So, when you multiply any number by 0, your answer will be 0. Today, we have discussed multiplying by 0 and 1. Let's take a look at this multiplication chart to show how much we learned today. Well, the green part we have not discussed. However, we know all these multiplication problems at the top and to the left side of the chart. So 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. And let's look at some of the ones. 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 1 is 8. 10 times 1 is 10. Even though multiplying by 1 and 0 aren't incredibly difficult, they have taught us how to do many, many, many multiplication problems.
Multiplication.